All right, we begin here then. The Secretary General of the EFF, Marshal Dlamini, is expected to address the party's KwaZulu-Natal leadership on how they will move forward with coalitions in the province. This follows the collapse of the party's coalition with the IFP. We take you live there and across to our reporter, Bongani Gema, who's there for us. A very good afternoon to you, Bongani. Okay, we saw this play out where it seems as though there's some sort of tension between the EFF, KZN, as well as the IFP. How is that playing out on the ground? What can you tell us?
Well, good afternoon to you, Flo, and good afternoon to the SABC viewers. Flo, as you said, the collapsed coalition with the EFF, as you said in your intro, we saw it playing out. And you remember, Flo, there's the EFF, got 8 deputy mayors here in the province, and it was thanks to that coalition agreement with the IFP, Flo. So, it was expected today that during his address, his opening address here at the plenum program, the SG, Marshal Dlamini, really, spent a whole lot of time on that topic, saying that, they went into the coalition agreement not just to revise history, because it says there's, the IFP were collaborators during the apartheid era, saying that they went into this coalition agreement knowing that the IFP, saying that the IFP, has this tendency to undermine, black political parties, saying that what they noticed was that the IFP was very undermining to them and also very disrespectful. But I have with me, the SG of the EFF, Marshal Dlamini, to also elaborate on that point. SG, we thank you very much for joining us here at the SABC. You did touch on this collapsed coalition, with the IFP. What does this mean now for the party going forward?
Greetings to you and greetings to the viewers at home. Look, we were an independent organization. We derive the mandate of the EFF from the membership and the leadership of the EFF, and they were centrally commanded from Winnie Matikizela House in Johannesburg. So we engage different political parties. That's why I was saying the president, when we were closing the campaign for 2021 local government, he came out clear on behalf of the organization that the likelihood is that the results of the 2021 local government, there's going to be a lot of coalition leadership within the municipalities, as we saw what happened in 2016. So we anticipated that there won't be any decisive winner. So as an organization, we knew that we're going to find ourselves sitting with parties that ideologically we were not in sync, or we don't agree. But that's why I made a call even to other political parties to say the outcomes of 2021 local government elections, let us prioritize services. Let's put our ideologies on the side and prioritize our people. Our people have been excluded from getting services such as water, roads, sewers is running all over. The municipalities, everything has collapsed. So whatever political party, let's put our ideological differences on the side and prioritize our people. So we termed it as the outcomes that must prioritize on services, and that's exactly what we did. And we came to KZN and worked with the IFP to remove ANC in most municipalities, where we ended up getting 8 deputy mayors. But as I was saying, that was not we're not revising history. We're just prioritizing services. And we worked with IFP, and IFP, they decided to disrespect us. We had 8 deputy mayors who were not given any responsibility. The only thing that they were given was a PA and bodyguards. Nothing, no responsibility whatsoever. The IFP, even in their pronouncement of how they were running the municipalities, they had no appreciation that they were in power because of the EFF. They were speaking arrogantly, so saying that it's an IFP municipality, not an IFP-led coalition municipality. So they arrogantly decided, and they forgot who put them into power, and we're not the subjects. And we engaged with their leadership on various meetings to say we need to make some adjustment. We are not here just to add numbers. We're a political party that has been voted by people, and they want to see deliveries. When we took a decision that we are ready now to participate meaningfully, and then we engage IFP, not in secret, we told them that we want to lead the municipality because we want to start demonstrating our readiness to lead, because our members, they've been in governance, they've been deputy mayors. At least now we feel that they're ready to make a contribution, and the IFP flatly refused that, and they even went to lie and say, no, they offered us a different municipalities. They are lying. When we spoke to IFP, we were speaking on the municipalities where us and them have got a coalition. And then they try to divert us. They don't come and even give us a counter offer. Where we got a municipality, they tell us of the municipalities of the DA. They're saying, let's go and speak to the DA. We were saying to them, why should we speak to the DA? We're speaking to you on the municipalities where we work together. They said, let's go to Tegwini, Tuhuza, speak to the DAs. Then we saw that they are showing their true colors, because the history tells us that they were part of the establishment that was working against our people. It's not us, the history is there, and we're not going to revise that history.
Now, what's going to be happening to these municipalities? Because we saw here in Ethekwini that the EFF, voted against the motion of no confidence brought against the mayor of Ethekwini, Mxolisi Kaunda.
No, we're going to remove IFP wherever we see it. We've taken that decision. There's no relation between us and them, and the ANC as well. You know that the ANC in KZN and Gauteng, they came to speak to the EFF. We are trying to navigate this thing because we are not voting for the IFP. It's not an automatic benefit of the ANC. So we're going to deal with issues per issue. So what transpired is is that arrogantly again the IFP, they're smaller than us in Ethekwini in terms of numbers. But on the other municipalities, it has always been a principle that the party with bigger numbers will allow them to lead. They come at Ethekwini without any consultation. They're saying to us they're going to put a deputy mayor. So the EFF must vote, and to still demonstrate that level of arrogance and undermining us. And we said we don't derive any mandate from anyone, and no one is going to blackmail us by saying vote for us by force. If you don't do that, it means you want the corruption of the ANC to continue. We've passed the stage of being blackmailed. We're going to remove the ANC in our own terms, and we're going to run our own organization the way we see fit and we decide.
Another important point that you touched inside, you say that going into the elections next year, this current provincial command team, if they fall below the DA, then the PCC is going to be removed. Is that maybe a fair measure of the leadership capacity?
Yeah, I think it's fair. They are here to contest. We're in a contestation of the political space. They've given a mandate, and part of their duties is that as you take leadership, the previous PCT, they took us to about 390,000. So they can't go below that. But also, if we're going to make inroads in this country, we're very clear that we're not going to accept anything less than, if we don't take over the whole country, we can't accept anything less than official opposition. DA, the official opposition, they must be removed in KZN. And there's nothing stopping the EFF here in KZN. I say that with confidence. I'm working with them. They've got the potential of disposing DA of that position. So it is the mandate, and they will make sure that they fulfill that mandate. Other than that, we don't want leaders that are going to come and get complacent and belaze and don't deliver to the growth of the organization. They know the mandate, what they were elected for, and that mandate must be delivered without any fail. If you fail, it's acceptable that you must move aside and allow other people to work. We are doing this not for ourselves or our families, for the people. Our people are hungry. Our people, they need jobs, they need houses now. They don't have time to wait. It's been 30 years our people being promised empty things. Now they want tangible deliverables. They're not going to eat speeches and songs. So this leadership must deliver on tangible issues, and part of their targets is that they must go decisively to win the province. If they don't get that, they must beat the DA, and the rest must be on the other side. At least they would have moved towards the ultimate goal of finally taking power in this province and restoring the dignity of our people.
Is a coalition between the EFF and the ANC something that you see happening here in the province?
No, we're going to deal with issues municipality by municipality. Already, there are discussions. In Nongoma, there's NFP. They might put NFP as a mayor. So there's no agreement between us and the ANC that now that we're not finding each other with the ANC. We know that ultimately we have to remove the ANC. IFP is, by the way, it's not even an issue of discussion. We're discussing it because we're talking provincial politics, but they are not a national party in terms of strength and shape and size. They are a provincial party, so we have to at some stage try to deal with the local issues. So they are a local party. So we are dealing with local parties when we're talking the IFP. But in the real politics of South Africa, they are a non-entity. So our opponent, they remain the ANC. And we're still going to remove the ANC, but not through blackmail, not through being told by our own opponents on how we must conduct ourselves, including useless parties like Action SA. Now they've got a view of how the EFF must behave. No, we can't allow our opponents to set an agenda. All political parties in this country, they've got a view on everything else, and what they all agree on is them wanting to dictate on how the EFF must behave, and that is, we won't accept that going forward. We're going to decide and we'll remove ANC in our own terms, and no one is going to blackmail us about that.
SG Sebong.
Sebonga.
Well, Flo, there you have us, the SG of the EFF. They're clear saying that, they are not going to be working with the IFP anymore. Also saying that, they have put the targets that, if the current PCT of the province fails, to beat the DA in the upcoming elections, they are going to be losing their positions. Flo, we pulled the SG from discussions inside the program, and I'm sure it's going back there now, and you're also going back. So for now, Flo, we'll just bring it back to you in studio.
All right, thank you very much to you, Bongani Gama, for us in KZN, where the EFF is, of course, deliberating on how to proceed moving forward when it comes to coalitions. But what is clear is that there certainly is some friction there between the EFF and the IFP. Of course, the EFF's SG, Marshall Dlamini, saying that ideologically they are not in sync with the IFP, and they feel that the IFP has disrespected the EFF.